Did he try to hit you with that placard?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting.
Well, he always does it, he's a violent.
No, it's a violent. He shouldn't be here, should he? He's just a violent, nasty piece
They
of
would
shit.
never arrest him, would they?
Oh, there's Steve again.
Oh, come on, then you want to do it earlier on? Do you want to have a debate with me now?
Well, the truth is, you're a loser, and we didn't respect democracy and give over people. I'm going to leave. With a no deal, that's what people wanted.
Yes, how many people?
Well, the majority, 17.5 million.
How many people live in this country?
Well, about 66 million almost.
Right, so 17.5.
Well, you do realise,
If you don't vote,
you do realise that that's not the way it works. The people who like are either too young, or they don't bother to vote, or
do
not. You cannot count their opinions. They have
the majority of people. It's the majority of those who voted. Wasn't
Yes,
it?
that's right, and that's democracy.
Yes.
You don't be like,
No,
well,
I'm just making
a
sure-
baby didn't vote.
I'm just
so
making sure you should be clear upon your language. That's all. So
that's
can we agree that's
democracy.
the
majority of people
who
voted.
Yes. Okay.
The majority voted to leave.
No, the majority.
I know you're trying to announce it.
The majority of people
What,
who voted voted to leave.
so basically when we had voted to, let's say, join the common market all those years ago, we hadn't really, because what actually happened is the majority of people in the country wanted to not join the EU,
I haven't disputed
but
your
the small
point.
minority which wanted to actually vote
I haven't
wanted to
disputed
join
your
the EU.
point that a majority. I've disputed how you framed the nature of that majority, and I think we can probably agree.
It was the majority of the people. It
No,
was.
it wasn't. It was the
I know
majority
you're
of
trying
the
to
people
twist
who
it.
voted.
Abhi.
No, I'm not twisting it. It's a fact. It was the majority of the people who voted. Now, if we can agree that, we can go
Well,
on to the next
the
bit. because
thing
that
is,
that
if you
the
cannot
truth,
be
isn't it?
bothered to go to the voting booth,
Yes,
like
yes.
24% didn't, then you don't have the right to vote.
I'm
You don't
not
have the right to have
disagreeing.
your say. You had your
I'm not
chance.
disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. I'm asking you to be clear in your use of language.
Well, I'm gonna use it as the majority of people voted to leave, and
we can
maybe
agree on
you've
that.
got a problem
we,
against.
no, we can agree on that. The way you just
I'm
framed it,
just
we can
gonna
agree
say-
on that.
Well, I'm gonna say the majority of people voted to leave.
No, they didn't.
That's the way.
Majority.
If you don't like it, that's just the way I'm
It's
saying.
factually
It's not gonna
incorrect.
go anywhere.
It's factually incorrect.
You don't like democracy. You're wrong.
You're factually incorrect.
Right, so why do you think you have the right to overthrow democracy?
I don't.
So I'm not live streaming at all.
I don't mind being live streamed.
You're being filmed,
He's
but
talking
it
to
can
me.
be changed.
No, it can't be changed. I don't edit any of my videos, thank you very much.
All right, Mark.
I'll take your word for it.
Right, yeah.
I don't have a right to overthrow democracy.
Yeah.
Democracy is a process. Almost no vote you will ever do in your life
Yeah.
will be, I mean, one day you'll die, one day I'll die.
Yeah.
There'll be a vote we have, which is our last vote.
Yeah.
Up until that point, we will change our minds, vote again, every time there's a general
Yeah,
election.
once we've left, nothing's stopping you people from campaigning to go back. But you have to right now respect democracy. You see what I'm saying? Because otherwise, what is democracy? If we don't leave, then we've got no democracy.
Yes, we have. But if on one condition, the reason we don't leave is that because more people don't want to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, you value democracy, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say a lot of people have changed their minds. What if we leave when there is no longer a majority to leave?
That doesn't count because the vote's already happened.
No. You said you value democracy.
No.
You said
We
you
had a
value
democratic
democracy.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that vote was that 17.4 wanted to leave over 16 million.
And yes,
Yeah.
but what if? Because you'll be aware that there's a demographic leaning stat. So there's
Yeah.
more older people voted leave, more younger people voted remain. It's called demographic churn. It's just the sheer fact that, I'm not being nasty, some people will die before other people will die.
Yeah.
Some of those older people will die.
Yeah.
There's a real danger that by the time we actually leave, simply because, not being nasty, but simply because they're older and they'll
Yeah,
die,
yeah.
an awful lot of people who wanted to leave could be dead.
But the point
At
the point that we had the vote, that is democracy at the point, and now it has to be carried out the will of the people.
Is that a sound? Does that still hold?
No, but that's why we
You
have
can't-
democracy. You can
we don't
campaign.
have
You
democracy
can
so that
campaign
dead
after
people
democracy is
decide
carried
for you.
out. You
And we
can
are
campaign to
campaigning.
go back in. Yes, but no, you're not campaigning. You're trying to stop it.
You're not campaigning to stop it.
No, you can't. That's not democracy.
It is democracy
No.
if our means of
No.
stopping it is that we get another vote.
See, again,
if we get another vote and we
Once
win
we've
that
left,
vote,
once
then
we've
that's
left,
democracy.
I promise you, I will never come down here again and try and stop you if you want to campaign to go back.
But you're entitled to.
No, but I wouldn't come here and try and stop it.
But you're saying that as though you're doing me a favour or something. You're not.
No, but you're
You
here trying
are-
to stop me from having my democratic
This is my democratic right.
right.
And this is my democratic right.
Yeah, to protest. It's to protest out here today.
Yeah.
And to say, but not to actually stop it. You can't do that.
If I stop it by simply mobilising an awful lot of people who want to stop it, and there are more of us than there are you, big if.
That's
but
why
if,
you campaign after the will of the people is
we
carried
campaign
out.
anytime we like. It's a democracy.
Yes, but right now we have to carry out the will of the people.
As I've just said, we don't know it is the will of the people.
Oh.
You had a vote 2 years ago. There was a real danger. It may no longer be the vote of the people.
We had a vote.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and 16 million wanted to stay, and 17 million wanted to leave.
Yeah.
That is a democratic vote.
Indeed it is.
The will of the people now must be carried out. Once we leave, you're perfectly entitled to say we want to go back to the European Union,
I'm
so
perfectly
we can
entitled
campaign
to
for
say
another
now
referendum. Maybe
that I
in
don't want
40
to be-
years' time I would like it to be. 40 years'
But
time
I'm
would be good.
perfectly entitled to
Yeah.
mobilise now.
Yeah.
It's a democracy.
Yeah, you can mobilise, but you can't stop the will of the people.
I can if the will of the people
No.
is to remain.
No, they
if
have
the
to
will of
carry
the
it out.
people is to
They
remain,
have to carry it out, and they're
that
not
isn't
going to stop it.
democracy, that
I
isn't-
can
that
guarantee
isn't
you,
the
Theresa
model
May
of
will leave
democracy.
on a no-deal Brexit.
She might do.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, that's entirely possible. I'm not sure what you... It's entirely possible that she might, yes.
Yes. Yes. She will.
Quite possibly. That's why I'm doing this. Don't want that to happen.
Yes, but once it happens, there's nothing stopping you from campaigning to go back later. But right now, we have to leave because that's what the people ask for.
But yes, the people can change their mind. Every vote you take, every vote you've ever made, you've been asked later if you still want to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have by-elections. Sometimes, I mean, for instance, although we're all supposed to have our fixed-term parliament and it'd be every 5 years, you'll probably notice it's not taking 5 years for a general election.
Yes, but you don't have an election and say, well, the wrong Prime Minister is now in power. We want to have it again the next week and then get a different Prime Minister.
No, it doesn't happen that quickly, no.
No, you have to wait. We have to wait 4 years and then we do it again.
Except we've just... Under most normal circumstances, it's every 5 years, except you might have noticed we did have a general election in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, there are ways around that. If there is a
but that
reason-
was because Theresa May thought she was going to win with a majority, and
Yes,
she
but
was
the point
she was
is-
being cocky.
Yes,
and she was
whatever,
yeah,
but
and
the
she
point
won by a
is
very
there
small
is-
majority and got a slap.
Exactly.
So
But the point is, there is a democratic strategy that allows for that.
Yeah.
That is normal.
yeah.
And we are looking for a democratic strategy here, which allows review again. It's normal. That is what democracy is.
Yes, but just all I'm asking is please wait until after we have left.
No.
No, but why not? So you're telling me I can't have democracy?
No, I'm telling you that only if I can mobilise, not me personally, you know what I mean, but if this side can mobilise enough people so that we're actually now the majority, and it's a big if,
Yeah.
but that's the only way it happens. If we can, then we are then the majority, and if we are the majority, that's democracy.
But that majority has to wait now until after we
There's
leave.
no law in democracy and
No,
there's
you can
no-
come back. No, you can come down here and campaign. That's fine.
There is no constitutional...
But the
there's
vote was
no
to leave. You
law.
can't turn around
You
and
just
tell a
made
vote.
something up. That's not real.
Right.
That's not real. That's not how anything works in terms of law, in terms of our constitution. It never worked that way. It doesn't work that way now. That's not what democracy is.
No, democracy is that we carry out the will of the people.
Yes, but if the will of the people changes, we carry out that will of the people.
Okay.
That's what democracy is.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Right, thank you. See, look at this one. She can't even look you in the eye, this one, look.